Hi guys, welcome back to another Cinematic Mike review. Today I'm reviewing Michael Bay's Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 2 is about two cops that are trying to stop the flow of drugs in the city of Miami. Bad Boys 2 has issues, and one of those issues for me was actually in the beginning of the film. In the beginning of the film, we get introduced to the antagonist, which is the Cubans, and in the beginning we go from the Cuban to the Russian to the KKK, and during this time I was trying to get invested in this film and trying to follow with the story, right? But I got lost here on who was the bad guy. I didn't know who was on top of who, how they're connected to one another, what's their situation, the relationship to each other. uh, and I thought that even later in the film that it was something that was gonna be more explained in a proper way, but it wasn't. I actually got lost even further into the film because then they had another antagonist, which is the Haitians. So now we got the Cubans, the Russians, the KKK, and the Haitians, and it was just all over the place for me. I think Will Smith and Martin Lawrence do a good job as the characters of Mike and Marcus. I think they have great chemistry with one another. I found myself laughing in some scenes, and it has to do a lot with their acting, their performance in there. But I think there are other actors in this film that aren't doing a good job. I think the actor that plays Johnny Tapia is an issue. I think Peter Stormare, who plays the Russian, is an issue. And the reason I think they're a problem is because they're trying to play these big time mobsters, and they're trying to be like playing it like they have to be intimidating. But to be honest, for me, they're not intimidating at all. And sometimes I even seem like they're laughable characters. I think they're trying really too hard to actually be that mobster, but they don't know how to play it that well. I mean, they're people that are trying to like be like Scarface, I think, but they're not even close to it. Another issue in this film is actually action. I think that the action is pretty cool in some scenes of it. I think some camera work is pretty cool, but not all the way. But one of the reasons I have an issue with this is because I don't believe action is a good thing to use for storytelling. Uh, I think if you're gonna use action, I think you gotta help it have a meaning. I think you have to help it tell the story of your character or the actual story that you're trying to tell. But right here, it's just action that's just there because it seems like someone just came up with the idea that, oh, I want to do this shootout, I want to do this explosion, I want to do this car chase. I think it'll look really cool. And but does it really help the story? I don't think so. I think it's just someone that's just trying to play around with things that they see in their head. I just think it seems like it's just like, oh, I just think it looks really cool, and there's nothing to it for the story. I mean, I look at this film and I thought about it, and I'm like, man, I went from one action sequence to another action sequence to another action sequence and then to another action sequence, which by the time it was over, I realized that, man, all I saw in this film was pure action, 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 but I didn't see any story in this film. There was no story to it. And this movie is long. The action sequences are long. I wish they were shorter, but I spent like a whole, I don't even know how many minutes it is with the action sequence. But I thought about it and I'm like, why didn't they use that time to actually tell a good story? I would rather have a great story than to deal with a lot of long action sequences that don't even tell a story. It's just pointless. I think about this film and I actually really thought about it. And I'm like, man, they gave these people a lot of money for this film. And I'm pretty sure there are scripts out there that actually could use that money and could have had a better story. And it's something I would have rather watched than to watch Bad Boys 2. That being said, I did not enjoy Bad Boys 2, so I do not recommend it. But if you enjoyed my video, please like and subscribe.